Hello there. So if this claim is true, why did the police feel the need to deploy a team of officers with a tow truck to haul that motorhome away? Well, that's all right then. A whole week after the luxurious motorhome was taken from the property of Nicola Sturgeon's mother-in-law, we are told it was purchased to fill the role of battle bus. Seems a tad OTT to me, but what do I know? But I suppose the Scots have to keep their dear leaders in opulence as they travel the highlands and lowlands, waftily waving to the crofters as they glide by. But having a battle bus with no activists to trudge the streets knocking on doors and delivering leaflets won't help. And I say that because there are fears in the SNP hierarchy that the arrest of Peter Murrell is leading to many activists leaving the party. And the former Scottish Finance Secretary and recent leadership hopeful Kate Forbes felt forced to write a piece in The National asking those who are thinking of resigning not to, and also asking those that had already left to rejoin. All sounds so desperate, doesn't it? But it's not just a missing 600k, auditors resigning with no replacement after 6 months, and question marks over a battle bus. The new SNP administration under Humza Yousaf has now declared that a decision to take on Westminster in a battle over Sturgeon's flagship GRR bill is imminent. This is the bill that Westminster blocked because it strayed into human rights issues that have not been devolved, to the extent that had it been given royal assent, it would have extended those laws automatically into the rest of the UK. Now, this bill was contentious enough in Scotland without having it imposed without vote or permission on the rest of us. But Humza may now want to be seen to be battling his way out of the extremely difficult situation that Sturgeon has left him with. Maybe he needs a bus to help him with that battle. So he may see taking on Westminster head-on over something, anything, will help steady his position as First Minister. And he may see the GRR bill as just the ticket. And in a weird development, it looks like he has an ally here in the form of Scottish Labour leader Anas Sarwar. And I say weird because it is generally accepted that as the SNP loses votes, Labour will pick them up. But if they're both backing this GRR bill, something that does not command wide support in Scotland, then where do the voters go? No wonder the Scottish Tory leadership is demanding that Sarwar confirms publicly where he stands on this issue. Now, the fact that the SNP and possibly Labour are going down this path suggests to me that they've done some private polling that tells them that the people of Scotland want this GRR bill to go through, that the vast majority of women are completely content with it. But I personally have my doubts about this. I'm wondering if Yousaf is about to try and fight a battle that will hold his party well below the waterline. So when people commit atrocious crimes elsewhere in the world and then end up alighting on our beaches uninvited, we then find out about their past but can do nothing to return them to whence they came. And that therefore increases the strength of the magnet manyfold, thus making the traffickers even wealthier. And why can't they be returned? Because of Article 3 of the European Convention on Human Rights that says, "No one shall be subjected to torture or to inhuman or degrading treatment or punishment." Now, many people point to other countries who are also bound by the ECHR and say, well, they return people, so why can't we? Well, it comes down to how that article is interpreted by judges. And it appears to me that if we do send people out of the UK, then the courts have decided that Article 3 means that we're potentially sending them to their doom, so it must be stopped to keep those visitors safe. Now, as I see it with my untrained eye, all the UK has to do is put in place a UK law that interprets that article quite clearly to say that no one will suffer in the UK or from direct action of UK authorities. But I won't be holding my breath. Now, for the life of me, I can't work out why, but the sales of Bud Light beer have reportedly fallen off a cliff. Now, sales of Bud Light have, as I understand it, been declining anyway. So the makers, St. Louis-based Anheuser-Busch, made a stab at taking it into the younger market by hiring a new face to get the woke on board. But getting Dylan Mulvaney to front the product seems to have had a dramatically opposite effect to that intended. With Fox News Business reporting that Jeff Fitter, owner of Case and Bucks, a restaurant and sports bar in Barnhart, Missouri, had seen a massive drop in Bud Light sales. In Bud Light's effort to be inclusive, they excluded almost everybody else, including their traditional audience, he said. And the report said that Fitter's establishment saw sales of Anheuser-Busch bottled products dropped 30% over the past week, while draft beer plummeted 50%. And Fitter also said something that every business owner should keep very close to their hearts. I think society flexes its muscles sometimes and reminds manufacturers that the consumer is still in charge. As they say, go woke, go broke. And the Fox report also cited other businesses in other parts of the US experiencing exactly the same backlash on sales of Bud Light. Now, I wonder if a certain rather large sports clothing and equipment manufacturer will suffer the same fate. So do you believe him? Do you really believe that the US President Joe Biden doesn't hate the UK? The man who told the BBC that he's Irish and tries to boss us about over Northern Ireland and telling people he was on his way over here to keep the peace in Ireland. But after the DUP politicians Arlene Foster and Sammy Wilson publicly pointed out the obvious, Amanda Sloat, the US National Security Council Senior Director for Europe, responded by saying that it can't be true because Joe has been talking to the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and that the President's track record shows he's not anti-British. But he does a short whistle-stop visit to Northern Ireland, will spend much longer in the Republic of Ireland and won't be coming to the coronation. And from what I've seen, most of Biden's engagement with the UK has been tilted towards achieving a united Ireland. I wonder if, when he's in the Republic of Ireland, he doesn't privately tell them what wonderful freedom fighters they are. And, as he's so often so cognitively challenged, let's hope he never gets Ireland and Ukraine mixed up.